start this hour with Everton developments at the club as 777 Partners acquisition is in serious doubt this evening. Our chief reporter, Kaveh Solhekol, joins me now. Kaveh, what can you tell us?
Well, there are discussions ongoing between the majority shareholder, Everton, Farhad Moshiri, and 777 Partners. The sides met in London yesterday, and Moshiri wants two things. First of all, he wants clarity, and he also wants resolution. And he wants this whole saga resolved before Everton play their final home game of the season on Saturday against Sheffield United. Of course, lots of questions have been asked about whether 777 are the right owners for Everton. And today, we learnt that one of the other clubs they own, the Belgian club Standard Liège, have been hit with a transfer ban. That is the third transfer ban they have had since 777 have owned the club. And the ban is because wages have not been paid on time. Now, Standard Liège have released a statement today, and in that statement they say the club is working on lifting the sanction in the coming days.
Now, of course, this initial takeover was agreed between Moshiri and 777 Partners all the way back in September, wasn't it? And since then, the partners have been providing funding via loans to keep the club going with the funding of the stadium as well. So if this deal does not then go through, where does that leave Everton?
Well, I mean, it sounds a little bit crazy for me to say this, but I don't think it's all doom and gloom as far as Everton are concerned. I think there is some light at the end of the tunnel, but only if we have a resolution to this 777 saga. And the reason why I say it's not all doom and gloom is, one, Everton are a great club with a great history. Two, they have a fantastic fan base who stick with them through thick and thin. Three, they are a Premier League club. They have made sure that they're going to be in the Premier League next season. We know how much interest there is from investors in investing in Premier League clubs. Everton are a Premier League club. You cannot take that away from them. And fourthly, of course, they have a new stadium that is going to be opened soon. And that stadium, I think now, is valued at about £1 billion. So my understanding is there are other options for Farhad Moshiri. There are other investors waiting to do a deal for Everton. But nothing can be done until somebody comes out and says once and for all the deal with 777 is off.
OK, Kaveh, thank you very much indeed. We have also heard from the Everton Fan Advisory Board today. They are calling for the club to allow other bidders to come forward, as you heard Kaveh reference there. Let's speak now to John Blaine, who is the chairman of the Everton Shareholders Association. John, a very good evening to you. The advisory board have expressed their concern today in a very similar way to you and the Shareholders Association, how you did with your statement yesterday. Just sum up the feeling of concern among you and fellow Evertonians at the moment with what is happening behind the scenes at your club.
Good evening, Julian. Hope you're well. Yes, I mean, it's been increasing concern over the months, I guess, because it's been quite clear that 777 Partners was struggling to find the funding to acquire the football club, and the ramping up of nervousness almost about what happens next is what stimulated the Shareholders Association yesterday to make its statements. And of course, the Fan Advisory Board have done the same today and laid down demands about what should happen next, and most specifically, a general acknowledgement that at this time, 777 Partners are almost certainly not fit and proper owners of Everton Football Club.
And why do you say that? Just clarify why you see them right now as not fit and proper owners. The Premier League obviously are still yet to make up their mind on that.
I think it's very much a timing issue we're talking about right now. Clearly, if they were capable of satisfying the obligations placed upon them by the Premier League or indeed by Farhad Moshiri in the sale and purchase agreement, then they've had ample time to satisfy that over the last 7, 8, 9 months. But there are also lots of civil actions going against them. They seem to have some litigation problems. You've just called out what's happening at Standard Liège. All those things put together mean right now is not their time. And it's really important that Farhad Moshiri recognises that and makes a decisive statement publicly about what happens next. And of course, what the Fan Advisory Board is saying, and we at the Shareholders Association would be completely in support of that, is that let somebody else who is showing interest show us, what their plans are, show what funding they have, and let's get this thing moved forward.
And so from what you know then, John, are there other options behind the scenes waiting in the wings, if you like?
I think there's lots of rumour. There's lots of faceless and anonymous people out there, I think. I mean, Kaveh's just said that this is a grand old lady of a football club, and we are likely to be the last of the so-called big clubs to be sold to probably overseas investments, if we're being blunt about it. But the reality is that as a football club, the stadium is growing. It's going to be completed by the end of this year. And those people out there need to show their faces, frankly. The last time we met with the football club, they told us there was one serious offer, but that was in the very early days. Sorry, not offer, interest. And that was in the very early days. I think what Farhad needs to do is almost make it publicly known that we are, if you will, open for business, because he clearly wants to leave the football club, and there must be interest out there because we're just such a wonderful football club and some great potential, of course, with the new stadium coming along.
Are you then reassured when you hear, as we are running the story today, that discussions are taking place this week and that they want a resolution to this issue by the weekend? Does that reassure you?
I mean, it reassures me in the respect that it's happening. One might say that tomorrow never comes. I would certainly say that what's going on now is overdue. I think it's been evident for quite a long time that 777 Partners were struggling with the size of their portfolio and the funding that they needed to keep that together. So, yeah, moderately pleased and expectant, really, to see if this is a deadline that can be satisfied, because we've heard deadlines before being placed upon 777 Partners and they come and go. But I'm happy that Farhad's got his hand on the tiller and set a deadline, which is before the end of the season. So, yes, let's see what happens.
John, thank you so much for your time. We'll, of course, monitor this very closely over the next few days. Thank you.
You're welcome. Take care.